All right, thanks again for tuning in to the Real Nigga Sports Talk Show. We got our brother here, Brother Love. He got some shit he want to say in regards to the Cleveland Browns' monumental collapse this past Sunday. And this is going to be our dog pound moment. So when we do this one-on-one with Brother Love, this is strictly going to be related to the Cleveland Browns information, news, and stories only. So how you feeling, Brother Love? Thank you for coming on the show, man.
Well, I'm still feeling bad, but it's Brown Steelers week, so I'm gonna have to get past that because it's real crucial right now. But I'm still pissed off about what happened last week. Definitely.
All right, now a lot of people feel like, this ain't the time to point fingers. This is the time to try to work on solutions. But for the sake of the conversation, let's point some motherfucking fingers.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Why can't you point fingers when it's the motherfucker's fault?
Well, that's what I'm about to ask. Whose fault? We got a list, but let's start at the top. Number one, who would you think dropped the ball the most in Sunday's debacle?
The defensive coordinator, of course.
Joe Woods.
Man, what is it called? D coordinator for sure. The reason why the first is going to be the D coordinator, this isn't the first time this has happened. This just happened last week. We just got bailed out because Baker Mayfield was dead in the water. All of a sudden, another blown coverage. How do you keep doing this? How do the Browns keep getting blown coverages when they're up comfortably, ready to close the game out, and then they just give up a 70, 80-yard play? So that's definitely the defensive coordinator's fault. Because first of all, how do you put him in that position? Because according to Denzel Ward, I thought it was cover 3. And if it's cover 3, it's the $100 million man's fault. Denzel Ward, but he said it was cover 2. But if you look out there, everybody else says, it looks like they were playing cover 3 and one person played cover 2. But then, even if you do call it cover 3, in that situation, why in the world are you not calling anything other than cover 4? Why? You were up 13 points with under 90 seconds left. And you calling anything but cover 4? What are you doing? Who are you waiting for? Let them dig and dug all they want to. They had no timeouts. So even if say they get a touchdown, they would have to take off a lot more time to get that touchdown instead of just one play, bang. Del Pitt, that's another person. He's made a couple of plays, but he's pretty much Sendejo 2.0. It's a younger version. So hopefully he can fix that. Hopefully he can fix that.
Hey, because Sendejo used to get on my damn nerves. You remember, bro? I couldn't stand that cat. And you used to stick up for him at first, and you was like, fuck it.
Never.
This dude was trash.
Never said that. Hey, pull the receipt. Never. That nigga's a fuck up. And so is Delpit. But so anyway.
But let me ask real quick. You think Delpit is because of physical ability or mental ability?
Mental. He didn't know the play. That's all it was. But the second time he was a busted coverage. Well, the first time was the Panthers. So that's the one that was on him. The second one, nobody's willing to admit who is it. It's either Denzel Ward or Delpit's fault. Because the other one, the safety on the other side and Newsom on the other side, they're not even in the pitch.
Right,
so it's between them two.
Let me ask you this real quick. Do you think, regardless on who's admitting to what, right? It's obvious to anybody watching the game that it's some type of communication breakdown going on with the secondary.
But that falls on the defensive coordinator.
But let me ask you this. Do you think it's a bigger problem that's going to come to the surface, or you think that this is a isolated kind of a situation? Or
it's definitely an isolated thing. This is the only thing that stood out. Other than that, average to below average quarterback that we have to work with. Everything else is ticking until the end of the game. Because if you notice, these plays never happen. We're not giving up big plays in the first 3 quarters. We're giving up big plays in the last 5, 4, 3 minutes. What's going on? And then I really want to holler at my guy because I've been hard on my man Myles Garrett. I mean, well, actually, I've been a fan of Myles Garrett since Texas A&M. I was telling my homeboy, he a big Steelers fan, when the Browns was pretty much nothing. I'm like, oh God, I'm talking about this Myles Garrett dude. He like, man, this nigga Myles Garrett better be everything you say he is. I'm like, man, the Browns pick this nigga Mitchell Trubisky. I'm done with the Browns because they was actually talking about picking Mitchell Trubisky over Myles Garrett.
Oh, I remember.
But Myles, my guy, how the fuck you mad at me, boy? How you mad at me, boy, bro? So hold on, you don't understand that. First of all, we ain't been 2-0 in about 30 years. First of all, and second of all, they did the percentage. 99.9% chance of winning was us. To 30. They said we had a 99.9 chance of winning with 1:22 seconds left. And you lost it, and you don't understand why these motherfuckers is born. What the fuck is wrong with you, my guy?
I get it.
If anything, you should be born yourself. Hey, you remember that nigga Powder? When he like, I want to slap my damn self for this shit. That's what y'all niggas need to do. But I mean, he's still one of my favorite players of all time with the Browns. But hey, the streets need a body. Fuck that. Somebody here got to roll about that. And think about it. We should be 2-0, but in the same breath, we should be 0-2 because you really almost get if the kicker doesn't bail us out. You really don't win that game because of the lack of communication.
All right, let's hone in on the kicker real quick because game 1, he damn near kicked it from the 50-yard line, right?
He missed the kick.
And that missed kick was the difference in the game.
It was the difference in the game, but I ain't trying to hear that, man. You up 13. There's no reason why it should be even the situation to where we talking about the kicker. You up 13 with less than 90 seconds left. I ain't trying to hear it. Not falling on deaf ears.
We can't.
He missed it.
We can't make him. But listen, we can't make him a hero. We can't make him a hero 1 week.
You said you want me to go off, and I'm not allowing it. I'm not allowing it.
That ain't got nothing to do with what I'm talking about. I don't care what we discussed. Who's at fault on the defense for the collapse? But you can't give the kicker all the praise for the win, and then you ain't got to give him the blame for the loss. You ain't got to give him the blame.
You have 2 scores.
But that was the event that precipitated the collapse.
Even if you up 10 points, you can be up 9 points. If you up 2 possessions, it don't matter. Like we up 13. If you up 2 possessions, you up 9 points. There's no way a team should be able to come back and beat you in under 2 minutes with no time out.
We definitely
come down to that.
But we agree on that. So, that's redundant now.
He missed the field.
It precipitated the collapse.
In hindsight, think about this.
That was the play that started the downfall in the game.
Listen to this. No, that ain't.
You can't separate it from the rest of the game.
That had nothing to do with the defense.
You can't separate. No, I'm not saying it had anything to do with the defense. I'm saying that, like, when you have a bad day.
You talking about momentum.
That's what I'm talking about. That was like,
I don't believe that would have an effect. I don't believe that got nothing to do with a motherfucker that don't know how to call a cover 4. Because even if you miss the field goal, you missed a short field goal. There's no way a motherfucker should just come on the field and throw a 75-yard bomb right off the top. And you know they need to go deep. So what? Most people, when people need to go deep, what do? You play deep, you take it away from them, and you make them go underneath.
Facts.
Dink, dunk,
Facts.
How the hell did that happen?
Facts. That's the same thing again. What I'm saying, all I'm saying is, K. York is not to blame, but an avalanche starts some motherfucking where. It don't just land at the bottom. It started slow.
Let me tell you where it started, though. Well, let me tell you where I agree where it started.
I think it started when Njoku dropped the third down pass and he was wide open.
I don't know about that.
I didn't feel good there.
They was in a smaller. No, I thought it was a game because of that. I actually thought they was going to lose the game because of that. When he dropped that pass, the momentum. But we ended up scoring and getting more points on top of that. So it didn't. That's what I'm saying. But it could have.
That's that. But look, stretching that drive out, bro. That's the minute 55. Ain't no time to come back. Is what I'm saying. If you continue that drive, that Njoku dropped the ball, you're getting 3 more plays. Them 3 more plays gonna suck up that minute 55.
What you're saying. And this is what you're saying, and I agree to it. This is what you're saying. Basically, my God, you all the way back to mistakes from the first quarter. Every mistake accumulated is the reason why you lose the game. I get that. So can I say that? Can I say that?
For sure.
So I get that everything that you do, just like in life, everything that you do adds up to the results that you usually get. So, yes, the catch, and to be honest, you know who else fell up under the bus that didn't nobody talk about? The pick at the end of the game was egregious. Why did you throw it? No one talked about that. That was a horrible throw.
That was kind of Baker Mayfield-ish.
Hey, think about this. And they were in similar field goal range where the kicker probably could have made amends.
Didn't they have a timeout left?
Nobody talks about.
Now, didn't they have one timeout left, family?
The pick was terrible. He didn't. We had timeouts. He didn't need to do that.
Why didn't they go towards the middle of the field?
Oh, hold on. So, nobody. That's the nigga that really got off the hook. He had a good game, but that interception was egregious. But we were so in shock for giving up the lead in the first place that think about it. Everybody's talking about that. We still had an opportunity to win had he not thrown the pick at the end.
Even with all that collapse.
Even with all that, we were in range and he threw that pick.
So what do you think is Joe Woods like? I'm speaking about his defensive philosophy. Do we have a clear picture on what his defensive philosophy even is, bro? What is it supposed to be?
They like to play a lot of zone. They play some man because most of their cornerbacks strength man, but they play a lot of zone.
Now, do you ever get the impression that the secondary is expecting Myles Garrett to get to the quarterback?
He can't get to the quarterback at all times. Myles Garrett's being doubled and triple teamed all the time. He did get a sack. People got to think about this too, about this because I heard a lot of stuff about that. Even though I don't agree with the man's comments, people talk about, he never show up in big moments. He do, because he putting pressure on that. Just because you don't get sacked don't mean that you didn't disrupt the play.
Correct.
And just the 4% on you affects defense just off the strength of them being able to play better because they don't have to, with one-on-one blocks. So there's a lot of things that go into, being a defensive lineman without the stat sheet, but he's still filling up the stat sheet. If you think about it, if you had a defensive lineman, I know you want clutch moments, but you can't control it. But if you had an end and you be like, hey, if I told you, hey, I got this defensive end and he gonna get you at least a sack a game, you gonna take that? A sack a game? You gonna take a sack a game? You know what I'm saying? So we at this point we kind of nitpicking with Myles, and I get it, but that's what happened with great players. You get nit.
All right. Well, it looked like we lost Brother Love there, y'all. As always, we had a nice, hot, and heated discussion, but a productive discussion. So I'm going to go ahead and close this one out. I want y'all to have a good day. All right. We really appreciate y'all tapping in again, and maybe we can get Brother Love back on the line for Friday's show. So if don't nobody else tell you, I'm going to tell you, I love you like a play cousin in a minute.